Hey guys, I'm Cyndee San Luis at the Beverly Hilton in Beverly Hills. Now, Zack Snyder's newest film, Sucker Punch, is an epic action fantasy with 5 girls who are wielding knives, shooting guns, riding in the Mecca, all while keeping it hot, sultry, and sexy.
What are you looking for?
A way out.
I'm going to help you to be free.
So congratulations, this is the first film that you wrote and got to direct.
Yep.
So how was that for you?
It was fun. I mean, it's interesting because like you think of the idea of like, oh, you're gonna write something and direct it, so it's just like, you know, it's so different from the other way you make movies. But it's weird. I guess the thing I discovered was that once the script sort of existed, you know, and it was its own thing, and we were like, okay, let's make it into a movie, or it's time to start filming it. That process for me was very similar to the way I approach to other movies that I've made. Like as far as once I have the material in front of me, I internalize it anyway, regardless of what it is or whether I wrote it or not. So I was just, with this, I was able to change it though without anyone yelling at me. That was different.
You will need to find 5 items. The first is a map. Then fire. Then a knife. And a key.
And so how did this whole idea come about?
It came out in a couple different ways, I think. I mean, you know, there was a couple different elements that sort of joined together to make the sort of germ of the ideas grow. And I think that one of them was, I was inspired on one hand by this magazine, Heavy Metal, which I'm a big fan of. It's an illustrated fantasy magazine that, you know, it's a bit of a dork magazine, but it's cool. But it has a lot of cool, like,
There's no judgment here.
Yeah, it's good. But there's a lot of cool, like, sort of sci-fi little comics. They're not comics. You know, they get the best illustrators in the world and make these awesome little stories. So that's Heavy Metal. And then on the other side, you know, there was just this idea of this structure of having this sort of musical framework for the movie. This music starts and the fantasy begins and the music ends, it ends. And in the middle of it, you go on an adventure. And that when the music ends, you're back in the world that you were in when the music started. That was kind of once we had that frame, we kind of said, okay, that's how we're going to use that to build the movie off of. Yeah. And that's kind of how it started. Okay,
so now, whenever your name comes up among fanboys and fangirls, this movie comes up obviously, but especially in the last few weeks, the Superman reboot comes up. So how do you see that film being different from the other Supermans?
Well, I mean, I think the thing is that we've got to look at this project as if, I mean, though I have great respect for the other films, and the other films are super awesome, we've come to a point, I think, in sort of the mythology of Superman where we sort of are saying, okay, let's just pretend like those movies were never made, and we're just going to, like, start again. So that's kind of how we're approaching it.
Who's your favorite superhero?
I guess Superman is my favorite superhero, strangely. You're not supposed to say that. It's not cool to say. But he is.
It's not cool to say.
Yeah, just because you're doing it. It's weird.